Hello, all you space engineers out there. Commander Kingfish here, and I am back in Space Engineers number 2. It has been kind of an exciting week. This is just going to be an update. And so, what I wanted to do today was cover what was posted out there on Steam about their pre-launch event. And so, uh, I'm going to cover stuff in there, and so that's what we're going to be going on over to that. And then once I finish doing that, then we're going to hop back in over here into the game, and I'm going to kind of show you what I've done. I've got my first ship and stuff like that. So let's get over to the pre-launch event, and I'll talk about what was discussed there, and then we'll come back into here.
Okay, hello. So this is the pre-launch event that was just posted on Steam, and it starts out with Merrick talking about wanting to make Space Engineers 2 10 times better. So, which means it'll be more intuitive. It's going to be a streamlined user interface or user experience, and it's going to be deeper gameplay possibilities. So that was some of the stuff that he talked about. He wants to make it more flexible. Revolutionary 25 centimeter unified grid will do that for sure. That's going to really kind of eliminate some of the artificial constraints that we had in Space Engineers 1. So also, he wants to make it more visually stunning, and you'll see that in some of the upcoming or some of the shots that we'll see later on in the video here of planets and stuff like that. And it is very impressive. Wants to make it more immersive. In other words, more storytelling, more lore into the game. So hopefully that is going to make that much more immersive into the game itself. And he wants to also take more advantage of performant, which is taking advantage of the multi-core scaling along with the leverage of the new modern hardware that we have. Some of the better, obviously, GPUs that we have out there now, and some of the cores, the processors that we have. So he wants to take much more advantage of that, and he also wants to make it much more purposeful, as I guess is what the way he describes it. Clear objectives and some guided progression for the engineers. New players coming in, it is fairly complicated, and he wants to try to eliminate that a little bit or make that a little more intuitive. He doesn't want to dumb the game down, as his words, but he does want to make it a lot more progressive when it comes to that. So we've got block destruction. As you can see, that is really going to make it much more interesting. You can destroy blocks. It's going to be more explosive. The pieces are going to be there, and so that should be an interesting concept. Uh, Vehicles landing on planets. There is going to be a degree of planets that when you land on a planet or you crash onto a planet, you're not going to completely destroy your ship. You'll be able to repair parts of it, and it shouldn't be nearly as bad. There's also going to be a lot better tools for the modders out there, and I know you guys will appreciate that. And that's going to be implemented before the survival is in place. So that will give you an opportunity to do some modding and stuff like that. That will probably be helpful when it comes to doing the when you're making the mods, and so there'll be some good mods out there when the survival is rolled out. So I think that'll be pretty interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing what mods are created. I have done a lot of videos on mods that are quality of life, so that's something that'll be interesting. So the VRage 3 render and architecture, it's going to be New rendering. So it's going to be GPU driven, which gets back to what Merrick said about taking advantage of hardware. They talk about it being data orientated, data driven, and scalable. It's going to be DirectX 12, which I think that is much more, can handle the processing better, much more what's the word I'm looking for? More graphical, I think, is what the DirectX 12 will do. And then they also mentioned that it's going to be written from scratch. They're basically starting over with this, although there are a few things that they said that they could cherry pick out of the VRage 2 from SE1 that they can get in there. So they're not having to completely start from scratch, but quite a bit of it. On to the global illumination, the lighting. There's going to be a lot of interesting things regarding the lighting. It's going to be improved shading modules, improved shading samples, shadows on maps and shadow masks, stuff like that is going to be available. It's going to be ray tracing, a lot of ray tracing, and I think you'll see on some of the video portions here as it scrolls through that the ray tracing is going to look pretty good. So there's going to be more materials, as you can see on the parallax and the tessellation of the models, the tessellation of the terrain, the difference that that's going to make. And then we've got armor edges that where you're going to see armor bevels, where in Space Engineers 1 it was a pretty much a straight cut, sharp line. These are going to be more beveled, so you'll be able to certainly see a lot of difference in between SE1 and SE2. The planet's rendering, that is going to be a lot better. It's going to be more detailed on the planets itself, so I think you're going to see some pretty nice planets. So when it comes to crafting of the planets, they obviously some of the dilemmas was from VRage 2 to VRage 3, much more detailed. So they basically kind of have to start that from scratch as well. So some of the planetary formula that they had to use was height map, the tessellated voxel materials, the biome maps, and the large scale detail maps, which also meant that boulders, overhangs, and caves can be much more dramatic now. You'll be able to see the difference in that. Instead of having, just lines straight across, you can actually create, or you'll see the crags and the crevices and stuff in much more detail. And then the atmosphere is going to be much more uh, outstanding. You're going to be able to see a considerable difference between the SE1, the VRage 2 to the VRage 3 as far as on the atmosphere. There's also water. That is, I believe, if I remember correctly, that's going to be on vertical slice 3. If I remember the roadmap on that, but they had started developing that in 2022, and they had initial experiments and simulations in SE, Space Engineers, and then in 2023 they went on to have a water sandbox, and they started the VRage 3 simulations. In 2024, they started actually implementing it into the SE2, and that's ocean, rivers, and lakes. The water properties, they had to fully understand the 3D water, which means that the water flows according to gravity and external forces. Buoyancy had to be calculated based on the object's weight, so there's a lot of properties that they had to take into consideration. Holes and U-bends, and so like in your rivers where they make a bend, the water had to fill into the proper spots in there. And so a lot of work had to go into the water properties. There was a lot of early prototypes, experimentations, and stuff like that. The 3D experiments, performance estimates, voxel collisions, stuff like that. Uh, so it was a large-scale simulation. Obviously, they had to do the loading, the domains, the microcells, and stuff like that. The buoyancy, all of that had to be programmed in, or they had to work on getting that all into place. So water was pretty much uh, it's going to be amazing, as you can see in some of the pictures and stuff like that. But I think overall, there's a lot of challenges to getting that water and putting that into place. As you can see by some of the examples, though, where in some of the physics that they had to deal with, like with the dam and being able to punch holes in that so that the water would only flow out through the hole. So they had to work all of that in and get that all programmed in. And finally, at the end, so if you're kind of worried about are they going to be abandoning SE1, no way. They are going to continue to be working on SE1. They have updates, and let's there's two teams. There's one that's going to be working on SE1 and a team that works on SE2. They're going to continue to support SE1 and the updates will continue. So at the end of the pre-launch update, they gave an update on SE1 and the support that they're going to be doing. As you can see on the screen, they're now in their 12th year of Space Engineers. It was released on Steam and Xbox, and it's all part of the Game Pass. Over 5 million copies have been sold, and they're currently working on update 1.206. They want to continue to do steady improvements to the game across the board, enhancing performance, stability. Uh, the UI is being improved and modernized gradually. They want to add new player versus player features, also player versus environment features, automation, and more. So they also have a group of volunteers who is currently testing the work in progress features on the closed environments and suggestions from forums. So yeah, they have been putting out new features, and there's more to come here. So what's next for SE1? So the next update is going to be 1.206, which focuses more on a quality of life improvements, bug fixes. 1.207 will concentrate on enhancing survival gameplay and adding new options, including environmental hazards. And 1.208, they hope to expand and improve the player versus player gameplay elements, along with much more updates coming in the future. So that is some of the stuff that SE1 has. So again, there's not going to be any abandonment on SE1. It's going to continue to be supported and processed and continue to create new uh, items, new decorative items, and stuff like that. So that's what's up next for SE1. Okay, so we have now moved on to the vertical slice 1.1. That was announced, and that will be the Steam Workshop, and it is currently visible on Steam. So if you are looking at your Steam page, you're going to go over to the Community Hub, and in the Community Hub, you're going to see the workshop. If you click on the workshop, and you're going to see that it's active and that there is content out there. Now, it doesn't look like you can subscribe to any of it, but again, the Steam Workshop is out there, and that's what part of Vertical Slice 1.1 is, and that is visible on Steam, and that's coming in March. So I think that's what they're planning on doing, is opening up the workshop in March, because it's actually visible out there right now. So I think with that, that takes us on to back to my ship.
Okay, well, I hope you found that informative and that would be very beneficial to you. To I know that I have been impressed with Keen and what they are doing here. So again, I talked about that over there in that first part of the video. So today I have my first ship that I've been building on, and if any of you that you've watched me, you'll know that I don't have any one set design when I go to build a ship. And basically what I'm doing in Space Engineers 2 right now is really just trying to get a feel for all of the blocks, how they go together, what you can do with them, and stuff like that. So, as an example, when I laid this out, I was off by a little bit. So you can see I got a window here and a window here, and then I have a window here, but there was a space in between here. So I was able to fill that space in with different sized blocks. So the 25 centimeter grid system really is making it easier to build stuff out and to really do your designs and really build the way you want them to. So let's take a quick fly around here. Some of the things that I've been learning, and we'll just kind of fly out over here. You can kind of see the design of the ship. This is just really kind of a cargo ship, and so I kind of built it all together and was just kind of started with a block and just kind of worked on it. So I've got thrusters on both sides, and this front up here is really a cargo bay. So if we come down in here and land down here, you can kind of see that this is one big cargo. You could haul pretty much anything with it. You can haul small ships, they'll park in here. You can put in large containers and have them full. You can put in small containers, rows of small containers. So that was the idea behind this here. And so I just kind of threw this together. As you come out through here, you're in the main part of the ship. Again, this is kind of another storage area for cargo that can be hauled. So you could kind of fill this area all up in here. And then if you kind of come on up, this is, I guess, an engineering room. I've put a couple of reactors in here so it has plenty of power. And this is what I think this was a gravity generator that I just kind of put in. Of course, none of this stuff is functional. It's all for looks. So, but being able to fill in the cracks and stuff, I was able to just kind of put in different things like, this little corner and stuff like that in here just to kind of fill out this engineering room. So if we come on up, there's another level here. Basically storage area, stuff like that. You kind of got a skylight to get some light stuff in down here. I made kind of a workshop area, a small reactor, another cargo, buttons. I made a bench using small landing gear and just tossed a couple of components onto the bench. So this was just kind of a cargo area. I'm not done with this yet. So if we come up here, though, here's kind of the bridge. Glass enclosed. I don't have it completely built out yet, as you can see. I'm still working on that. Kind of put in a kind of a barrier around here. I still have more work to do on this, just to kind of see if I can't trick it out a little bit more. Again, this is the control seat. So you can kind of sit in here and you can kind of look around, uh, kind of see above you and out in front of you and that sort of thing. So let's hop back out of here. If we kind of go back over here, I'm thinking that I haven't decided if I think the upper portion is going to be crew quarters, and this down below is going to be like medical room and stuff like that. So just to kind of throw some visuals in here. As you can see, I built halfway up so that you still have room. So it's not like I had to use 2 full blocks. So I basically have 1 block and then with a little bit height above that. Now if we go up above, this is going to be crew quarters, captain's quarters up here, some bunk areas, and that sort of thing. Maybe the kitchen area will be down below. But that is what I've kind of got done on the ship for the design. And so if we kind of fly out here, you'll kind of see kind of the back end of the ship. Now, that A, I designed that A, did I did. So here's what, now the blueprints are a little sketchy, so I'll try to be careful with those so that they don't bug out. But if we go to G and we go to blueprints, you can see that I made a A. I just made an A, and I can, if I highlight that, I can then place that blueprint. We do that. Now see, I'm out here, so I have this as a module, and say I wanted to put this back here. So let's see if we can attach this somewhere right in here. And you can kind of, if you hit control, you should be able to kind of, I guess that's one of the things that Merrick did talk about, is that you'll have more precise control with these. But we can put that right there like that. And so it would have been not quite centered. Center would have been over here just a little bit, but pretty close. So you can do things like that. And then that's going to be one of the cool things in building. I also created a module of thrusters like these here, so I can put these in anywhere into the ship without having to build the complete module again. So that's a little bit on my ship and what I've been doing with some of the blueprints, things like that. I think you'll have fun with it. If you're concerned about early access, I wouldn't be, unless you really want a completed game. Then I would wait. But I'm having a lot of fun just in early access, just messing around with it, because I do like to be creative. Although I'm not the best at it, I do like to be creative and just kind of put things together and see what I can come up with. And it's a good way to learn the blocks as we get moving forward. So again, as I mentioned in the start of the video, the workshop is coming along, and you'll see those things in the workshop. You'll be able to, at some point, I think you're going to be able to upload stuff into the workshop, and then I'm assuming that you're going to be able to share. That's coming in March, obviously, and that sort of thing. So I think we're going to wrap it up right here. I didn't want to make this too long of a video, but I did want to kind of show you what I've got going on in Space Engineers 2. There's still a lot of optimization and stuff like that. But again, their dedication to SE1, that's why I wouldn't be too worried about if you was to do early access and then just play around in it. You don't have to worry about trying to complete anything or stuff like that, but it just will be fun to do a lot of that. All right. Well, if you like this video, please hit that thumbs up. It really will help out the video. And please subscribe. That will really help out the channel. Okay, all you space engineers out there, keep building away, keep your heads low, and don't get shot. And with that, Commander Kingfish is out of here, and I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching, everyone.